what's up? My name is Nasko, and in this video we're going to be doing a trap beat. Now with trap beats, they're usually around 130 to 150 BPM. We're going to be doing 140, as you can see. And we're going to start off with the drums, then go over the sample we're going to be using, and then we're going to do a little bit of composition and add another melody to the whole mix. Alright, so we're going to start off with the kick. And I can remember finding a really good one in the Untitled Chapter and Future Bass sample pack from Cymatics. It's in here somewhere. Let me find it. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. This one sounds pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to normalize. And I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit. Like that. So you can normalize it, you can click on normalize, and basically you can do these fade ins and fade outs, and it's going to keep it very loud, which is really nice. It's a very nice feature. All right, and now let's get into snares. And I've also found two really cool snares inside of this pack. Actually not in this pack, but in another pack from Cymatics, which is called the Savage Drums for Trap Gold Edition. I'm going to go to drums, snares, and dry. And let's see if we can find some good ones in here. So this one sounds pretty good. Let's see. This one is really nice as well. All right. Okay, so now let's put down the pattern. So let's pitch this one up, I think. There we go. All right, very nice. Now let's add, I think we're going to add two right here actually, and we're going to put another one right here. All right, and that should sound pretty good. Let's tighten up this kick a little bit. Put it down. Also, let's already add the sidechain. I've got some sidechain automation right here that I can trigger. Just right click and go to cut itself, so you can cut it. So we've got the main pattern down, but we want a second one, so that it has a bit more variation. And let's do a bit of a more simpler one, I think. Maybe with a bit of flavor in there as well. Oh, also, make sure you're adding the sidechain for the snare as well. Let's go back to pattern 2. Right, sounds pretty cool. All right, so this is going to be our drum pattern. Now let's add a hi-hat. Actually, two hi-hats, because sometimes you can use just normal hi-hats, but sometimes you can also like pitch them down, and it sounds really cool if you layer them. So let's go back to the Titan Trap and Future Bass sample pack, drum one shots, hi-hats and cymbals. So let's see. Really like this one right here. Let's see if we can find another one in here. Both hi-hats. Right, this one sounds a lot better. All right, so let's put down this pattern as well. We're not going to do a second one. We're just going to use this one. So let's see. And I want a little bit of a snare roll before the snare. So let's just put it down like that. Whoops. Make sure that they're always on line. Let's tighten it up a little bit. And now let's add a second one, just because can do some cool things to it. Maybe this one. Let's see. Stretch it down a bit. Let's make it a bit tighter. Let's try a different one. What you can also do is if you just want to tighten the drum even more, you can right click, go to edit, and you can just select a shorter version of the sample and just drag it back in. All right, nice. Now let's just add nice crash. Maybe this one. Make it a bit quieter. Nice. Now let's add another pattern and let's do sort of a rides, something like this. Normalize it and fade it in a bit. We can. No, that's too much. All right. Don't normalize it. Okay. Now let's assign these drums to mixer channels. So first of all, the kick is going to go into mixer channel 1. The snares are going to go to mixer channel 2. Hi-hats and cymbals are going to go to 3. There we go. For the kick, we're just going to use a compressor. Whoops, not that one. And I'm going to set the attack to around the length of this one. So we can take a quick look at how long this transient is. I don't think it's that long, really. It's around 50 milliseconds, so a bit less. It's to like 10 milliseconds. Let's turn up the ratio. Let's push it a bit. Nice. Now let's add an EQ before that. With a high pass, low pass, I mean. Just make it a bit tighter. All right, nice. Let's go over to the snare. Let's EQ it. Like that. And let's boost it a bit. The right, that thing. That's sounding really crisp now. Let's add a compressor as well. Turn on the threshold, turn up the ratio a bit, turn down the attack a bit, the release up. Let's push it a bit. Now for this part, we shouldn't be boosting it all the way because the problem in FL Studio with the compressor is that it has a built-in limiter. So if you push it too much, as you can see, it keeps the signal at 0, but it you can't exceed it. And we want to push those transients, so what we can do is just push it a bit and then get something like Wave Shaper and push it even more. See, that's a lot louder now. Perfect. All right. And now for the cymbals. Let's add an EQ. Cue out the lower frequencies. A bit of the high ones as well. Not too much though. Very nice. Let's add a bit of compression as well. Very nice. Let's add a bit more highs to the snare. All right. Pretty nice sounding. Let's do the AO8. Even actually before we do the AO8, let's start and drag in a sample because most of trap uses samples and resampling and manipulating samples, and we're gonna do that the same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and load up a piano roll. I mean, not a piano roll, but a piano sample. So we can go over to Titan, instruments, piano loops, and let's find a good piano loop we can use. So let's see. That one sounds pretty nice. And what a lot of trap producers also like to do is use groove speed inside of FL Studio 12, and we can do that as well. So we can load up groove speed, and we can do a halftime thing in here. We can go over to the preset section right here, go to momentary, and pick the where's it at? Halftime speed. Perfect. And now we can go ahead and open our Edison, go to new, click on record, and just record the sample. Just the sample only, though. Perfect. Now let's just cut the beginning of the sample around right here, drag it onto the playlist, and cut the end like that. And now you've got a nice, very dreamy piano loop. Let's assign that to a channel, and let's get an EQ and make those lows a bit smoother, as well as the highs. Very nice. Let's add some reverb. Let's use reverb 2. All right, that sounds pretty cool. Now let's just move all of these drums over here, and let's loop them as well around this long. And I want to add this piano roll right here, but I want to fade it in, and I want this one to be faded out. So we can do some filter automations. So for the first piano loop, we can load up a fruity filter, turn on the high pass all the way, the resonance all the way, and right-click on the cutoff frequency and go to create automation clip. And we can slowly fade it out like that. And for the other sample, we can also load in, we can just first of all take off the momentary, the groove speed, and load up another fruity filter. Turn on the resonance, turn down the high pass, and do the opposite as we did right here. So turn on the cutoff all the way, right click, go to create automation clip, and do the same. Now make sure that this isn't clipping. Also for the piano, we can add some EQing and get rid of some of the lower notes because we're going to be using an 808, so that's going to be very harsh. Very nice. Okay, let's add another EQ and let's boost the highs a bit. Turn it down a bit. Send these two piano things to the sidechain channel if you have one. And let's go ahead and put that down there. Right, now let's do the 808. So also, first of all, let's turn down this. Perfect. And let's introduce it later on, like around here. Very nice. Now let's add the 808. So we're going to be going over to drum one shots, 808, And we're going to be loading up our 808. So let's see what we're going to be using. I really like this one right here. Whoops. Let's load it in. And when you want to use an 808 instead of the sampler, what you're going to do is you got to go to the envelope instrument settings. And you got to change the key, the bass pitch, which right here is E. So let's quickly change that. Perfect. Now we can start to build our 808. All right. So let's go ahead and put down some notes. Also make sure that you got this uncut itself. And what you want to do is inside of the instrument and envelope section, you're going to click on envelope, take the attack all the way up. Can leave the hold around there. The decay is fine as well, but take down the release all the way. All right. Now the next one, I think is B. It's going to be around this long. Perfect. And then we're going to go from B, I think, because that's how the chords go. To the snare. And then we're just going to go, I think we're going to go up, down and up. Sounds like this is going to be the right key. All right. And then I think we're going to go down like really deep. Nice. That sounds really cool. All right, let's duplicate that, send it to a MIDI channel, a mixer channel. And let's load up a limiter. Take down the attack all the way and boost it as much as you can. Then we're going to add another EQ after that and cut some of the higher frequencies out. All right, let's turn down the volume of this thing and send it to the sidechain channel. Also want to add a transition effects. So let's go to FX, white noise up. And let's see what we can use here. Whoops. And that sounds pretty nice, but we gotta assign this to a mixer channel and put an EQ on it. Don't make it too steep though. We're gonna make it this long, and then we're gonna use this as a transition. All right. Just cut it out right there. Perfect. Now let's do a little bit of a fade in. Nice. I also kind of want it to be, I don't want it to start instantly, but I kind of want it to have something catchy, like a catchy melody, and then go into the beat. So let's cut it right here. Get rid of that as well. We can keep the first hit note of the 808. And let's cut this part right here as well. Nice. All right, let's add citrus. I'm gonna go to add and go to citrus. And I know there's some really good organ sounding presets in here. So let's see if we can find something. I think that sounds pretty good. Let's try it without reverb. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Okay. So let's start doing the melody. So we're just gonna put this down. I think this is gonna be this long. Right, let's go inside the piano roll. And from this point on, you can really just do whatever you want. Just make sure that it's in key and that it sounds nice. So kind of want it to go down. Yeah, something like that. And then oh, that's too low. Exactly. Though I want a little bit of a nice swingy feel to it, so we're just going to add this beginning note right here, lay it with the first notes, and then just move them one of these squares. So you have them overlapping like that, and it sounds pretty cool. Dum 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 dum. Whoops. So I'm just putting down the melody. And then I want it to be a longer note at the end, sort of. Like that, yeah. Like that. Sounds pretty cool. All right. Let's also add some beginning notes right here. So we're going to add that right there. I don't think we're going to do it for the second one. We're just going to make it longer, though. All right. I think that sounds pretty cool already. Oh, also, let's add these things over here. So this is a really cool technique you can use in a lot of melodies, like any kind of genre. It doesn't really matter, but it's just always going to sound pretty cool. And let's clone this and use the whole melody again and pitch it one octave. All right. And let's use that in this part. And let's also assign this to a mixer channel. And let's EQ this really quick. All right. Let's add some highs. I mean, there really aren't any, so let's just add some reverb before that. Some reverb too. Let's make it very short though. Maybe. All right, let's add a limiter and take the attack down all the way again and push it. And then turn it down and send it to the sidechain. Alright, that sounds pretty cool. Right, now let's go ahead and master this really quick. So for trap, it's really, you don't have to do a lot of technical stuff because that's kind of the nature of this kind of trap stuff. It just sounds a bit more natural if you don't overdo the mastering process or the technical things. So let's load up Maximus. And let's go to presets, default. And let's go ahead and solo the lows. Also turn off the, no, leave on the compression. Sounds pretty nice already. And the low cut we're going to do at around 25 Hertz right there. And we're going to make this fully mono. So go to the bands and change this to 160 Hertz. You can see the Hertz on the top left. All right, let's go to the mids. Let's turn off the compression on there. Looks pretty cool, all right. And for the highs as well, turn off the compression. Now you can still hear some strong compression in the master because we got a compressor right here. But one really cool thing you can do is you can move this line right here up. And if you move it up all the way, it's basically not going to compress at all. But if you slowly introduce it, you end up with just a bit of compression. And then for the rest of it, we can just turn on the saturation. All right, so that's how you can do a trap drum beat inside of FL Studio 12.